No.
Would it be opossums or just possums?
It says opossum or possums.
So they're singular and plural.
No.
We need to revisit this at length. Sean needs to hear this. Do you guys know the expression, a horse, my kingdom for a horse? Well, let me modernize it for why Craig Ludwig is not on the show today. A battery, my kingdom for a car battery. DLS Stars podcast starts right now. This is the DLLS Stars podcast. We don't say that much these days because it's
weird to be over here.
game every other day. We got one tomorrow. We got one Saturday. It's only a 3-game week, believe it or not.
I was Sam Nestler for, I think, about 4 days before I had a new tag.
Proximity goal.
Proximity Sam Nestler, also known as Penultimate Sam Nestler. I'm Owen Newkirk. No Luds today. We'll get into that in a moment. Sean Shapiro is here. Ryan Vaughters is our producer. And before we get into all that, let's talk about the new Face Off Collection t-shirts. You've seen them. We've been talking about them for a few weeks, but they're great. Cash in on them now before they go. Great shirts, alldls.com. Those are our newest, but all of our merchandise, which we'll hear from Sam a little bit later, available at alldls.com. Diehards, 20% off all merch. Free shirt for your first year when you sign up. Kayla signed up to be a diehard last night, got herself a shirt and a bonus one. Love it. Sean, welcome in. Sean Shapiro from Van Andel Arena in Grand Rapids, Michigan today. Clearly a chilly building.
Yes, and it is like 28 degrees here, so but this is hence the attire, and my day has been, I woke up, I walked the kids to school, dropped them off, got into the car, drove to a hockey game that started at 11 a.m., watched said hockey game, wrote about said thing, did all of that, and now I'm here with you lovely gentlemen. So happy to be here. And I'm sure you'll miss the school day games and what they represent to all of us for so long. So
the AHL school day games are always fun. It's weird to do like an 11 a.m. game. What was the start time for you guys at Grand Rapids today?
11 today. It was 11.
Okay, 11 a.m. Because the arena is packed, right? That part's fun. The starting in the morning is always weird because your timing is completely thrown off. The one thing that is less agreeable is the high pitch of the squeals of most of these elementary school kids because they're excited, but instead of the normal adult-sounding crowd cheers, it goes up about 5 octaves. And so it's fine. It's wonderful, but it is different. Sean.
It's a lot of octaves.
I want you to listen to this drop. Now, this isn't the entire clip, but this is what happened as part of last night's postgame show. Just have a listen to this.
No.
Would it be opossums or just possums?
It says opossum or possums.
So they're singular and plural.
No.
Okay, so quick backstory, and then we'll get into the show. The entire post-game show last night, Luds was trying to get out of here faster, even though we have to do the whole hour anyway, because apparently where he lives in North Texas, the a possum or opossum, I'm guessing Sean is in the opossum camp, but an opossum got into their house and under the bed, cornered by his 3-legged dog.
Pulled into the house by his dog.
Lucky brought the thing in, and then it cornered under a bed. And Luds' wife couldn't get the opossum out, and so she kept texting him updates. She was also feeding and giving water, right? It was a whole thing. And then you guys gave him a nickname, so now apparently the opossum nicknamed Big O.
Big O.
Which I feel a little threatened to my place for that, but nonetheless, we apparently have a show mascot now. And then Luds and Sam started debating how opossum is pluralized, which we found out is in fact with and without an S. It's not like moose where it's singular and plural.
Yep.
So in case you're wondering, that's how the opossum, possum, as Art Ross says, spelled opossum, pronounced possum. I've heard people say opossum too, so we're having a lot of fun.
I never even heard of it until last night.
Yeah.
So
there you go. We
learned a
went a
new
little
thing.
nuts on the post-game show.
You want a little possum nuts? Opossum nuts. Oh, nuts.
But okay. So we have a lot to get to today, as we normally do with these shows, but we want to start with the headline, which, by the way, great thumbnail from Ryan. Mastodonic achievement, because Dallas Stars color analyst and for a short time play-by-play announcer, Daryl Reaugh, bobblehead right here,
one back here,
one up there,
probably about
5 or more in a box over here, was officially inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame, the biggest Hall of Fame, right? There's the U.S. Hockey Hall of Fame. There are other smaller ones. Dallas Stars Hall of Fame weekend is coming up. This is hockey. This is based out of Toronto, Ontario. This is all of hockey, not just Canadian, not just North American, but hockey overall. So, oh, by the way, I forgot to mention. So Luds is having, he's not on the show today because of both his vehicles. He and his wife's are having car trouble on the same moment. And about 45 minutes before we had to be in the studio, we got a text saying one's in the shop and the other battery's not working. And he was hitchhiking to one of the auto parts stores. Yeah, well, I was trying not to name it, but
go find him at the AutoZone.
AutoZone or Advanced Auto Parts, one of them anyway, or O'Reilly's. How many can we name? CarQuest.
O'Reilly Auto
So
Parts.
anyway, no Luds today. So let us talk about Reaugh for a minute. Daryl Reaugh was officially inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame in a ceremony on Monday. He was the 2025 recipient of the Foster Hewitt Memorial Award, which is handed out for outstanding contributions in hockey broadcasting. They also have the Elmer Ferguson, which is for hockey writers. And I believe, Sean, do you remember who it was? As somebody from Quebec, if I'm not mistaken, this year.
Yeah, I feel bad because I don't remember who it was.
I should have. And Reaugh actually spoke in French for a minute, which was hilarious. Well, great ceremony. It's on the Dallas Stars YouTube page. They posted the full speech if you'd like to see all of it. Take a couple of pictures here that we showed you last night on the post game. The Stars tweeted out pictures of Daryl and Brad Alberts, the Stars president, accepting the plaque that will be in the Hall of Fame. And I mentioned this yesterday. All the text on the plaque is in both English and in French. That's thus the 2 paragraphs, which is very cool. And then a picture of Daryl and his family, his wife and his 2 daughters. And what an honor to be able to have a career achievement recognized at the highest level. I mean, Reaugh said in his speech, this will probably be the greatest honor of his professional life. I can't imagine you could get much higher than that, right? I mean, Hall of Fame broadcaster, that's it.
Yeah.
So, Sam, before we play a couple of clips, because I have 2 short clips from Reaugh's speech, you grew
Which
up.
went 10 minutes over.
What's that?
I think his speech was 10 minutes longer than it was
joke.
supposed to be.
James Duthie was the MC of ceremony, master of ceremonies, and I think they said you get 4 minutes, and he did what, 14?
I think it was 14.
Yeah, Chuck Caton, the president of the NHL Broadcasters Association, was there. Longtime radio announcer for the Hartford Whalers / Carolina Hurricanes. He's no longer doing that since Carolina actually consolidated and went to a simulcast, which is a shame. But you grew up as a fan. That's why I wanted to go to Sam first.
Yes.
Luds worked with Reaugh in the booth for a couple of years after Dave Strader got sick and Reaugh moved over to play-by-play. Luds isn't here today, so we're not going to have that. He can talk more about him later. But you grew up in New Jersey, and I've asked you before, how did you become a Dallas Stars fan? Right? Why not a Devils fan? You didn't like the Devils, you liked the Stars.
Yep.
Which means you grew up watching Daryl Reaugh and probably for a long part, Ralph Strangis, and then, of course, Dave Strader, and now Josh Brogeroth doing it currently.
Yep.
And then Reaugh in that play-by-play in between. What does Daryl Reaugh mean to young Sam Nessler? Not necessarily currently, but as you were growing up a Stars fan.
Yeah, it was even more important, too, for me because I didn't have any way to watch Stars games back then. So I would pull up, Stars were in the Pacific Division, so they'd play 10:30 games all the time. I'd pull up my mom's super comfortable chair, pull it over, drag it across her kitchen floor, scrape up the whole floor, pull it up right into her computer, and I'd turn on NHL radio. And that's how I took in Stars games. Probably 70 a year that I couldn't watch any other way than that. So I was lucky when they started doing Stars broadcasts. The first year I had to do home broadcasts, so I had to listen to Flyers and other guys that you couldn't even tell if they were scoring. But for me, that was the audio was all I had, and then watching highlights the next day or whatever it might have been. So even more important to have the excitement, right? Not just you want someone who gives you a good goal call. Josh was great, Ralph was great, Dave was great, but also Razor, on top of all his ridiculous, hilarious, stuff that keeps you awake because it's funny, he also does a really good job of breaking down and letting you see the play without actually seeing the play, right? It's tough to listen to a hockey game on the radio because it's really hard to put together. Football, you can kind of really visualize things easier. Hockey, it's very hard to tell where exactly on the ice was that play because they can't comment on every second of the game. All of a sudden,
it's too fast.
The puck's on the other side of the ice, and you have no idea how it got there. And it's hard to take the game in. But Razor was great.
In comparison to football, for example, where there's a stop and a start, or baseball, where you have all the time in the world to diagram and diagnose every single play. Sometimes ad nauseum, where you're like, you need to take a breath once in a while. Hockey is so fast that if you linger at this corner, the play can be at the other end of the ice before your sentence is over.
Yeah. And Razor had, back then, they hadn't quite cut the, now you get barely any time to go over goals and things like that because of how fast it is with TV and everything. But now they had a little time. So he maybe had a couple minutes where he could break down a goal or say, here's the save on the other end that led to the goal. And for me to have the combination of Razor breaking down plays like that with his knowledge and then throwing in a word that you've just never heard in your entire life, or a way of describing things. The one that comes to mind always, I don't know if did you clip the goose?
Oh, yes.
Okay, so I won't say it yet.
Oh, yes.
That one was the one that always stuck in my head, and there was one of those every night, and he always fed off really well with he always had great partners, right? So that helped a lot, and it just helped me to love the game because it's really hard to love hockey listening to it. It's just a totally different aspect. For me to be able to still follow the team despite the team being terrible, really enjoy the games and learn a new thing every night, that was what kept me around and obviously got me to where I am now.
Sean, your take you've covered the team. You were a beat writer for the team. Yeah. You have been connected with the Stars, whether AHL or NHL, for going on a second decade now. What does Daryl Reaugh mean to you personally and to the Stars fan base professionally?
I think professionally, there's he has been the voice of the Stars, and this award is given out for broadcasting excellence. But I think one of the elements that can't be ignored when speaking about Daryl's impact on this franchise is he is one of the most impactful announcers in NHL history on a single market. I think it would be impossible not to mention that when it comes to the combination of not just calling the game, but what someone has meant as the face of the franchise. And I know there's a statue of Mike Modano on Victory Plaza and obviously everything there and everything like that. But when you think about consistency of the Stars franchise from early mid-90s to now, Daryl Reaugh has been the face of the Stars more so than any player. Yep. And it's been reflected on things he has his fingers on more than any other broadcaster. Other broadcasters aren't in the decision-making process to design jerseys.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking.
There has been, we can say this part out loud because I don't care saying it, but there was a long time where national TV wanted to hire him away, and there's a reason Daryl's one of the highest paid broadcasters in the NHL from on a local level. It is because he has earned that stature, and the Stars have been willing to. They've made one of their. He is basically one of the pillars of this franchise. So it's impossible to talk about the Dallas Stars and not talk about Daryl Reaugh, which is something that is wild for someone who hasn't been down here or to think about a hockey thing. It's really impressive when you think about what he's done. The other thing for me on a personal level with Daryl and everything like that, to me, it's always been he is very good at his tasks and he knows he's very good. He is not an easy person to earn the respect of. And not in a bad way. I want to be clear on this, but it is one of those things where I know because we've spent a lot of time around each other and everything like that. He only really ever cared to talk to me when I knew my shit. Sorry, when I knew.
Hey now.
When I knew.
Lutz isn't here. Sean feels he has to fill that void.
Sean filled in for him.
Yeah, when I knew my stuff, when I was not BSing, when I was being authentic, and I was being a person that was worth respecting, and I think that is something about on a personal level that with all that he's done and his thing and everything, like with kind of his knowledge of the game, his between his knowledge of his game, the way he can teach and everything like that, when it comes to talking to other people, you have to earn his respect. Yep. And when you do, you can tell it's something that is important. So I will always think about it that way, where he's a very authentic person in who he is. And it's a thing where I would be proud of the times that we would talk and have conversations of I'm actually bringing something to the conversation in his mind, because that's something that early on in my career I had to earn to be at that table. So he is a fixture of the franchise, and you can't tell Stars history without him. So
up next, let's play the clips, a couple of snippets of this 14-minute acceptance speech that I think you'll appreciate here on the DLLS Stars podcast.
The weather is changing here in Dallas, although I think it's going to be 80 degrees again today or tomorrow. But as you can see from my very red nose, it has dropped to fall / potentially even already winter weather.
I was going to ask if you've been drinking today.
Yeah, no drinks today. But when the weather changes, roofing becomes even more important. That's where Qualis Roofing comes in. With over 700 5-star reviews and an average rating of 4.9 out of 5, Qualis Roofing is one of the most trusted names in roofing across North Texas and Austin. Homeowners and business owners alike consistently praise Qualis for their honesty, follow-through, and quality workmanship. If your home was ever hit by a recent storm, don't wait. Qualis offers free storm damage assessments and can help guide you through the entire insurance process. Call or go online to schedule your free roof inspection, and don't forget to ask about the free grill. Visit QualisGC.com or just search Qualis Roofing and Construction. That's Qualis, Qualis, or call 817-500-9008 and get started today.
Thank you, Sam. Let's talk about something that I think is pretty darn exciting. Have you ever wanted to be a major league player? Baseball player, that is? See your name on the back of your jersey, share the dugout with the all-time greats? Well, we have good news. The Texas Rangers Fantasy Camp, presented by National Car Rental, is your opportunity to live out these dreams. Taking place January 7th through the 11th at the Rangers Spring Training Facility in Surprise, Arizona, Rangers Fantasy Camp is the dream experience for any diehard Rangers fan. Across 5 unforgettable days, campers will be treated like a big leaguer. Customs Rangers uniform, professional grade equipment, access to full clubhouse amenities, post-game happy hours, Sam, the whole 9 yards. And the best part, you'll enjoy hands-on guidance and encouragement from some of the best players to ever don a Rangers jersey, including Hall of Famers Ivan Pudge Rodriguez and Fergie Jenkins, who was in this studio, I think, a week or two ago now, with more alumni announcements on the way. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity you won't want to miss. Spots are limited and going fast. Secure yours today at rangers.com/fantasycamp. Look, there's the Fergie Jenkins signed autographed hat. That's rangers.com/fantasycamp. Thank you, GM Ben. All right, let's hear from Razor. They do for the broadcast and writers portion of the induction Hall of Fame weekend. They have a luncheon. Then in the evening, they do the class, which is the players and builders category. And so there's 2 parts that I wanted to play of Razor. Let's start with the short clip on the fans, Ryan, if you would, please.
I represent our fans here today. They're all up here with me. We are in a relationship. We have been for a long time. They are out there, TVs, tablets, phones, radio. I'm on the other side in makeup, bushel of 25-cent words to wedge into the broadcast. We've been linked up for 30 years.
There you go. And Sean, did we lose Sean or is he just off screen? There he is. Okay, I just want to make sure you're still there. That's the point you mentioned, and that's why I clipped that from Razor. He's in a relationship for the better part of 3 decades with the Stars fans, and you can't tell the story of the Dallas Stars franchise, even though he didn't join the team until 1996, and they moved to Dallas in 93. But you can't tell that story without a big part of it being Daryl Reaugh.
Yeah, and and I think it's something he's obviously well aware of, and it's something that is, I think there's a bit of the, not the weight, but I think there's something to, when you talk about anything in life and business and industries or whatever, like to be able to do something for 30 years, you have to find a way not only to do it well, but you have to find a way to keep making it something new at the same time, right? And it's not that his style of call ever evolved greatly or anything like that, but I do think the Stars broadcasts were set up well and evolved to fit his personality so well. Sam brought up he had some good partners in this, and I think it's important to mention that right now, because while they didn't have the friendliest of falling outs in the end between Ralph and Razor, they were the perfect on-air combo. They were the perfect on-air duo for what they did. Their on-air personalities were perfect for each other, and they really played well off each other.
And they knew it too.
They knew it, yeah, and they knew it. And once, and unfortunately, obviously, when Dave Strader was only here for a short time because of his illness and everything like that, but when Dave Strader was here, he was the consummate pro that Razor could play off well. And then once when they tried the Stars tried the play-by-play experience with Razor, and it obviously was something that was not the best fit. And then Josh has come in, and I know this is all about Razor right now, but I want to give a quick shout out to, like, Josh's call on that overtime goal in Ottawa last night is tremendous.
Yeah.
Right. Like you talk about someone who has really grown as a broadcaster too, someone who understands the hierarchy within the broadcast. And we'll say hierarchy, obviously it's Razor is what he is. And Josh had to come in and find his way to work with him and allow him to continue to get better. And I feel like Razor has gotten better since he's worked with Josh. And I think Josh has improved as well. And so when you look at that and you look at kind of how that's continued to evolve, and then it's a broadcast that Sam was talking about. It's also a broadcast that has gone through one of the more interesting kind of dynamics, first by necessity, and then now by design across the NHL. I mean, the simulcast, let's be clear, Owen, you know this. It's not easy to call simulcast, right? Like it is. There are many times one of my biggest frustrations.
Honestly, it's darn near impossible, because a radio play-by-play call and a TV play-by-play call are, because of or in spite of the use of pictures, are exceedingly different. And if you do the same, if you do a radio call on TV, people will go, this guy never stops talking, and I can see where the puck is in the corner. You don't have to describe location, and it would drive you nuts. And if you do a TV call on the radio, you can't follow the play because you're not describing and painting the picture, because, again, they're two completely different mediums. And so to do both, Sean, it's darn near impossible.
It is, and they've done an incredible job doing that. And then now to move into it's the latter part of the story, but we're in this now Victory Plus era. We've moved off TV. We've moved into this era of how do broadcasts look and shape in the future. And I have many qualms with the Victory Plus broadcast, what happens between when the puck at the end of the first period before the second period starts, and with how they may have handled and made those decisions. But this is my opinion, Ryan. My opinion. I have qualms with some of the things away from the game calling, but the game calling has continued to be excellent. The way the presentation, when the game is going, and when allowing those people to tell the story the way they have, it's done great. So, by the way,
that was Sam muttering in the microphone. It was not Ryan. So Ryan catching strays for no reason.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, no, I want to bring you back though, because we're veering away from Daryl Reaugh. And so Sam mentioned,
this all goes back to him. This all goes back to he's the pillar of this.
Yes. Oh, there's no doubt.
Yeah.
So here's this is I'm so glad he brought this up in his induction speech, because this is Sam's most memorable Razorism, and there are a veritable dictionary of terms he's used on the broadcast, but this one stands out as particularly unique.
The great Harry Neal is the other major influence. He was extremely kind to me when I was first starting out, along with Joe Bowen. They let me stand in that that little phone booth of a broadcast booth at the old Joe Louis Arena, there was really room for one. I don't think any of us could fit in there, even singularly. They let me paint myself onto the wall, watch the broadcast. Harry was always a delight. I found it so incredibly adept for him to get in those quips, those one-liners. It never felt forced, never felt shoehorned into the game. And when they landed, you could hear the glint in Harry's eye. And it's because of his influence that when Jamie Benn went through the entire Carolina Hurricanes team and scored, I felt the urge to describe it as being like poop going through a diarrhea-infected goose. And I truly hope Harry appreciated and approves of that.
We will have Razor on the show as for a second time at some point this season. And I had to play that because it's ridiculous, but it encapsulates who he is personality-wise, his broadcast style, what he does and attract, whether that phrase makes you laugh and you remember it forever, or if it makes you cringe and you remember it forever. And I am pretty certain in this claim, I don't think this is hyperbole, but we'll ask him. I believe that Daryl Reaugh is the first person to ever use the term diarrhea in a Hockey Hall of Fame induction speech.
Maybe he's first on a NHL call.
Probably on television, right? Yeah, I can't imagine somebody else has used that term on a TV broadcast. It's possible, but I feel like in the Hall of Fame,
that's for
that
sure.
word just doesn't come up very often.
Yeah.
So what an iconic moment. It's very, very funny. And to be fair to Razor, he makes the game broadcast more interesting.
Yep.
He has a knack for it. He's one of the best color analysts in the NHL, bar none. I know a lot of people get upset when the Stars or anybody's hockey team goes on national broadcast. Excuse me, I'm getting all choked up. Actually, it's just probably the lunch backing up. Speaking of geese, and you say, these aren't my broadcasters. These aren't the guys that I'm used to hearing. So it's the unfamiliar. Now, there are some incredibly talented national broadcasters. I think Ray Ferraro is one of the best color analysts out there. I think Darren Pang. Two of the reasons why I love both of them and why I think Razor is as good as he is it's the enthusiasm for the craft.
Yeah.
In twofold. For the game of hockey itself, what's happening in front of you, but also to get better. And if you listen to Razor talk, and we'll have him on and talk more shop broadcasting process, he was very studious as he became a broadcaster from an NHL player, learning from the analysts that he liked. He talks about John Madden all the time. He goes, Madden wouldn't talk about his coaching career with the Oakland Raiders. He talked about the present, the game in front of you. That's what's important. And I always tell this to Sean because I'm a bit of a broadcast snob. I've done play-by-play for a long, long time. And my philosophy, which I think mirrors Razor's in a lot, is if you're listening to the announcers have a conversation about something that doesn't pertain to the game that's happening in front of you. We're not talking about in between whistles or in an immediate timeout or in between periods. But if the game is going on and you're having a sidebar conversation, you're telling your audience, listeners or viewers, that what's happening isn't very important.
Mm-hmm.
And Madden was really good at being excited about this happened right here. Or as Razor does, he brings you into this moment. With plenty of time to talk about these moments or that, or we're focused on what you're watching right now. And I think that from a broadcaster's perspective is really, really important.
And John Madden's best call was in Replacements when he was trying to draw up the
what
fumble.
What a great movie, yes.
Well, and on top of that, it's a great lesson, too, for anyone who wants to be in a storytelling element, too. Just tell me the time, don't tell me who made the watch, right? Like there's just such an element.
And that works on writing, not just on broadcasting, doesn't it?
Yeah, 100%. So it's and the other thing that I think that's really cool about Razor, and part of it goes to, let's give the Stars credit, they ponied up to make sure that he never left to go national. How many other broadcasters would have a bit of this reverence if they were allowed to be around one team and tell one story? I think a lot of the times we run into the thing with national broadcasters. It's like, they parachute in. We don't, it's because they don't spend time around the team.
You don't develop that relationship.
Exactly. Razor knows the story of the Stars from game 1 through game 82, and he's damn good at it. And I think that's something where there's some really good broadcasters who, once they move to national, and it's not a bad thing, it's promotion up in your career, you can't parachute in to call game 5 of the second round of the playoffs and have the same knowledge and base for what a team looked like if you didn't call game 3 and 4 back in October, right?
You have to go through the slog of the season to really appreciate it. Yeah.
So I think he's a cool case study in what happens when someone who is really good at their job and probably should have been elevated to the national stage and didn't, and was able to just continue working and just perfecting his craft within this space and within this market. And I think it's a really cool thing. And there's more people who, I think it was something I read that Bob Sturm wrote something about Daryl last week and about his playing career, because you talked about Owen,
and by the way, Sean, Bob and Razor did about a 90-minute audio video podcast talking through his playing career, which was fascinating. Really interesting. Listen.
But Daryl also doesn't talk about his playing career. It's not one of those things. It's not a crutch. There's so many broadcasters that use their playing career as a crutch. He played because it's something that is general knowledge that he was an NHL goalie. But it is not something that he has to tell you every single time. It's something where it's rarely ever brought up within his own regard. And I go back to kind of telling the story of the Stars. There are more people who are Stars fans right now who honestly have more of a connection with Daryl Reaugh than Mike Modano. And I know that's sacrilegious to say and all of that, but I think it's legitimately true. Mike Modano last played here, 13, 14 years ago or whatever it was, 2000. 16
2010,
years ago now,
right?
Yeah, so 16 years ago now. He's a statue and he's a relic. Not in a bad way, but that's just what he is. They had to put up a statue so he would be remembered. You don't need a statue to remember Daryl Reaugh because he will be the voice of this because he's the voice of the franchise.
Yeah, and Sean mentioned it briefly, the poll he has.
Does Razor have a statue when it's all said and
maybe.
done?
Or it looks just like this.
Do you think they'd do that, or do you think it might be like a banner? In
They'll probably have a banner, plaque, something in the arena for sure. But he also has.
Depends on what building they're.
Yeah, depends where they are.
Let's save that path for another day.
Where they are. But I was just gonna say he has a huge say in everything, and including that TBD third jersey we're waiting on. He also had a big part of that.
On the power rankings he did for the Stars organization. I know we made a funny laugh when he signed the wall last year, but there's a reason for that. Most broadcasters don't have that kind of inclusion in organizational decisions at that high of a level. So good on him and the Stars. And congratulations, Daryl. It truly is a well-deserved honor, and I hope the weekend was as satisfying for you personally as it was for everybody that's in a relationship with you as a Stars fan over the last 3 decades. Up next on the DLS Stars podcast, let's talk about hockey. We'll do our 3 stars of the week from last week because we have to get to those, get caught up. And we have some injury news from today as Stars practice in Montreal, getting ready to play the Canadiens on Thursday night. We'll get into all of that next here on the DLLS Stars podcast.
But first, let's talk about Flag Football Day with Big Brothers Big Sisters. Big Brothers Big Sisters invites you to step onto the field and mentorship role at our Big for a Day flag football event. It's on Saturday, November 15th at Irving High School Football Field. It's from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Join us for a day of fun, football, and connection as we pair adult men with one of the 400 little brothers currently waiting for a mentor. You'll team up for a friendly flag football game, enjoy lunch together, and learn the fundamentals of football, all while making a lasting impact. No long-term commitment required, just one day to show up, play, and inspire. Whether you're a seasoned athlete or just love the game, this is your chance to be a role model and make a difference. Sign up today, check out the link in the description, and be a reason a little brother smiles.
Wow. That was epically quick. That was like when you, at the end of the credits, when you
honestly,
hear the
and I just want to let everybody
rolling.
know that's listening to the audio platform, we did not just hit the 2 times.
No, that was
by
just
accident.
Sean was
that
on.
Was just
Sean was on a roll.
Accelerating into,
he had
as
some caffeine.
Ryan would call it, because he's a P1, metal bat speed. Hey, metal bats too, which I didn't know until I got there.
All right. Let's talk about PNC Bank. We've talked about it many, many times, and we will continue talking about it because that event was that last week?
What event?
The 4th and 6th, the hockey hair
It was
PNC pop-up.
literally
That
this
was
past week.
Past week, wow.
Edmonton and Anaheim, which we're going to talk about.
It was such a fun event. The hockey hair hat right here on the table. Luds, Owen, and I, along with a bunch of the other DLS crew, got to hang out down there. Meet a bunch of fans, pop on some hockey hair. Really cool event the way they did it and the way they had that pop up. It was the ultimate celebration of PNC's reliable, responsible approach to long-term financial planning. Help told through the lens of another amazing long-term investment, Epic Hockey Hair. The reminder that the best things, whether a legendary flow or a strong financial plan, come to those who are patient and committed to the long run. PNC Bank, an official partner of the Dallas Stars.
All right, let's talk about last week. Sean hasn't been on the show for a little while
No.
Oh wait. No. I almost
Hold up.
I was too excited to get on with the show. Thank you, Ryan. Even I need somebody to keep us on the rails sometimes. It's time for the PNC Bank Mullet Reports. Here's our pick for the favorite hockey hair from around the NHL. And today, we have selected Patrick Kane, which is appropriate that Sean's on the show because he's still playing for the Detroit Red Wings. But I think this is, based on his age in this
That
has
looks
to be
like Chicago.
Blackhawks for sure. But this
Young,
is...
yeah.
This
I don't think he still has the shave.
Oh, the little three
sides
lines
either,
in the sideburns. Oh, gross. What's the Patrick Kane hockey hair looking like right now, Sean?
It's a lot shorter. It's a lot shorter than that. So.
Thoughts
He's an adult.
on Patrick Kane for this segment?
Yeah, well, I'm going to go the Dallas Stars route because you can say everything you want. The guy was incredible watching him win all his cups. The Taves to Kane connection, the saucer passes, they were unstoppable. But more importantly, for the people watching this show, Patrick Kane is synonymous with Dallas Stars pain because the Stars, Blackhawks, we talked about when the Stars used to go into certain games and just know we need to play pretty much a perfect hockey game or
We're
get
not going to
excellent
be able to
goaltending.
measure up to them.
Not only are we not going to win the game, it's going to be 5-1. And the amount of times that they went into United Center or played here and the Hawks just absolutely ran wild on them. Shots were usually 40-12, things like that. And unless they had amazing goaltending and a Antoine Roussel penalty shot winner,
Yeah, it was
pretty much going to be a win. So for Kane against the Stars, and then again when he came here with DeBrincat more recently
With
when the
Detroit.
team was bad. No, this was with Chicago.
with
still.
Chicago still.
The team was bad, and he still him and DeBrincat put up 4 or 5 points. So he loves to play at Dallas Stars, and the Dallas Stars hate to see him.
He has the other thing that Sam, you talk about the pain and reality of something that Stars fans are not going to like is he is 36 points away from passing Madonna for the most points by an American-born player in NHL history. That may happen this year.
Yeah.
And we will probably do a segment at some point when that happens because as much as Stars fans won't want to hear it, he will probably go down as the greatest, at the retirement of his career, the greatest American-born forward in NHL history.
What does he have, 3?
He has
Cups?
3 Stanley Cups. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And a heck of a player.
To quote, or then we can always go back. We can go to try to dig up the old clip of. Do you remember? Speaking of Razor, this actually connects somehow. Remember the old 2 Finns bits on the scoreboard, Owen, where they had Niemi and Kari answering questions from Razor. There's a question in there where Razor asked the goalies, "Who's the greatest American player of all time?" And Kari Lehtinen says Chris Chelios, and Razor said, "You've been reading too much." So when it happened. I think we need to find that clip. Someone we know enough people where someone can find us that clip.
It was probably GM Ben was probably
might
running the scoreboard.
Although who knows if they still have that archive, but yeah, he was probably in there. All right, so that is the PNC Bank Mullet Report at the Main Street branch. Fans had a chance to pick out, as Sam was just telling you, their own Dallas Stars hockey hair hat, a limited edition Stars hat with a gorgeous mane of hockey hair coming out the back. It was a reminder that the best things, whether it's a legendary flow or a strong financial plan, come to those who are patient and committed to the long run. PNC Bank, an official partner of the Dallas Stars. Now we can talk about last week. Sean, you missed some games last week. That's fine, but it'll give you a chance to catch up. This is Wednesday already, but because we didn't have a show on Monday, instead of doing our sort of Monday recap show, we'll do it quickly now and give you a quick chance to talk about any of the games last week, and then we'll go right into our 3 stars of the week. So last week, we had the Stars beating the Edmonton Oilers, Gully's first game against Edmonton, 4-3 in a shootout. then a 7-5 loss to the Anaheim Ducks on Thursday night at home, followed by a weekend back-to-back sweep, winning 5-4 at Nashville, coming from behind to score 3 times in the third period, en route to winning that one, and continue a spiral of Nashville fans just losing their minds about their team right now.
Correct.
And then finally, a 2-1 win over Mason Marchment and the Seattle Kraken. Anywhere you want to go on that briefly from any of those 4 games?
I just want to go big picture real quick because I think there's 2 things around this team right now when I look at just kind of outside perception. One is a lot of people want to go and point out they're winning 1-goal games, and they are, and oh my God, they're struggling, but they're only winning 1-goal games. And I then want to just quickly provide the quick counter to that. They are still winning those games. Last time I checked, I still think it's 2 points in the standings, whether you win 2-1 or 5-4. I still
it
think
is.
Yes, confirmed.
I believe a win is a win, right? I think that's the case, and so I understand you can be concerned about
Horse is a horse, of course.
Exactly. You can be concerned about the process and where this is and what works and what doesn't. And you can be critical of that, but I do think there's been a little bit too much of the, oh my God, this team is horrible and they're not. And like, I just think some of that reaction, right? Some of that overreaction to they're winning close games. When, I don't know, last time I checked, didn't we say this team had to win more close games? Didn't we say this team was going to have to learn to win 2-1, 3-2 games and win those in April and May and June? And so you're getting exactly what this is the thing that would it be nice to have the occasional 7-2 blowout? Of course, no one's saying that, but I think there's too much. Yeah, but I do think there's too much of there's too much worrying about how they're winning when they are winning. That is taking away from some of the joy that people should be having. Moral of the story, enjoy it. Your team is winning hockey games. It's fun. There's a lot of other NHL teams that would kill to be in your spot right now, so enjoy it. So,
Sam, do you we're getting close to the ad break, so rather than split up our 3 stars, let's do it on the other side of that. Is there anything of those 4 games, Oilers, Ducks, Preds, or Kraken, that when you look back stands out to you?
Yeah, I think we talked about it a ton on the post-game show, how no game's been easy. There have been tons of bumps along the way.
Didn't you say this yesterday, that Gully said something about where's my 4-1 win? Was that you that made that comment? I would love to have a relatively calm finish. Yeah,
just get a lead. Either the Stars love to either get a lead and blow that lead or get behind and come back. That's the funny thing about this team. It's not just that they're winning tight games and they're winning, 2-1 or they're back and forth, couple lead changes. It's that they go up 2-0 or they go down 2 or 3-0.
Did you
and
see?
It always flips.
Josh's.
That's
tweet
what I was just thinking
morning?
of. What was it?
It's so
yeah,
Josh Bogorod, Sean. I don't know if you saw this morning. Tweeted out. Actually, I think he tweeted out last night late. I didn't see it until this morning. He wrote, in a stat that seems hard to believe, the Stars have a 4-0-1 record in the last 5 games in which they have fallen behind 2-0. That's 900 hockey when spotting the other team too. And I quote tweeted and basically said, yeah, like there's some warts on this team. This team enters today, November 12th, tied for second in the NHL in points.
Yep.
And we don't think they're anywhere near
a
polished team clicking at all cylinders.
Yeah, and Luds makes a good point. And of course, we're not gonna stop pointing out things that they need to work on. That's literally the point of why we're sitting in these chairs on this show every day. But the point that Luds likes to make is, he doesn't see changes come fully into play and fully understood under a new coach, new systems, new players, whatever the change is, until you get to like 60 something games. And Gulletson mentions the 20 to 50 mark as when teams start to separate. I just think fans aren't going to have patience. We aren't going to have patience. I would love to watch a road game up here and be able to come down and know what the score is going to be or that it's going to be a win or loss without standing up there waiting for the final seconds to tick off, because that's the way it's always been. But we're not going to see the best version of this team until probably game 50 at least, right? Then they're healthy bodies, understanding the systems, getting the old habits out, playing with instincts, all those things Gulletsen's talked about. And that's okay. We may not like it, but that's okay. And that to me makes it more.
As long as they keep putting points in the bank,
they're keeping themselves in a good
fine.
spot. They're not going to put themselves in a wild card bubble watch as of now. And the thing for me personally, it gives us stuff to write about because we truly don't know how good this team is. So it's fun to kind of figure out where things are going to go and not just fully understand this team. So I'm along for the ride. I don't know about you, Sean.
I mean, it's the point of this whole sports is that you don't know what's going to happen. That's the reason it's intriguing. That's the reason it's fun. It's if you win games, you win it. Like I mean, maybe as a fan perspective, you don't like it, and maybe you don't. But like, you win a game 3-2, you feel pretty damn good about it. So I look at it from the perspective of enjoy the ride, enjoy where it goes. When you worry too much about the future, when you worry too much about where things are going or might not go, you take away from the moment right now. So enjoy the moment right now. So,
all right, up next in the DLS Stars post game.
It's
podcast.
so used to be.
I don't know
games
what
every
day
night.
it is anymore. Let's talk about the 3 stars of the week and then get into the schedule that is already started this week. No Luds today, but we still have his picks. We'll try to decipher them.
Yeah, good luck.
We have the answer key. We haven't seen it yet, but we also don't have his justification because that's the hardest part. We'll do that next.
but one thing that you do have access to right now, especially if you're a diehard, you have access to the Discord where you can go and have a wonderful discussion about what he was thinking when he made these picks. And that's one of the coolest parts about becoming a diehard. You have access to the Discord. You have access to this community. We've been doing this now for about 14 months. And every time I look and I kind of see how much this has grown, where we see people in the chat, I see names popping up that I see all the time now there, where people are talking about hockey, but they're also they know each other and everything like that. So it's really cool to see what's been grown. And we're just kind of the tip of the iceberg on that. You can kind of get in it. This group and this community is where you want to be. So become a diehard by scanning the QR code right there. And the other thing, if you want it delivered to your inbox each morning, Monday through Friday, go to alldls.com/newsletter. That's where you're going to get your stories on the DFW sports right to start your day. When you're trying to ignore work at 9:30 a.m., when you're trying to grab that cup of coffee, that's where you go to that newsletter and read it. So alldls.com/newsletter for our audio listeners, QR code for the visual people right there.
Yeah, I'm supposed to talk about merch, but I do want to say something about being a diehard real quick.
You can do that, please.
It's
allowed.
Luds told us after we went to that card show, and I think Alan this last weekend, 30 plus people coming up
Sunday morning, right?
Sunday,
Yeah.
talking about DLS. We love the show, and I got to tell you, as much as fans tell me they don't want to annoy me or whatever. We're not annoyed. I love hearing that.
No, come
because
tell us.
We're still new. It's not like we've been around for 30 years and we're just like, oh, you like our show? Yeah, who doesn't? We're not on that level by any.
Even if we were at that level,
No,
I'd
we
like
wouldn't.
to think I wouldn't take
Of
that
course,
for granted.
but we are really the more people that I see. Someone that calls out my name when I'm walking through the concourse, or I'm wearing a shirt and they point it
Please
out.
yell at Sam.
That stuff
Sam!
is so cool.
Just don't call him Proximity Sam.
No, that stuff is
Actually, do call him that.
so cool, and we love it. Also, go to alldls.com and get some cool merch like our new Face-Off collection, our cool, amazing Finnish Mafia shirts, Jake Ottinger shirt, all the best stuff, alldls.com. Go check it out.
All right, guys, it's time for our Dallas Stars, our 3 Dallas Stars of the week. Let's start with Luds.
Oh, boy.
Ryan, if you would supersize our screen for us. And then we look
All right, at least know
this.
one of them.
Okay, so we'll get the answer reveal
One
after.
of them's a real person.
He's not going to explain him because he's not here. So clearly we have young Wyatt. And then we have, that looks like, is that like
That's
Clash of the Clans?
yeah.
Right?
But I don't know
And then
anything about that game.
We have a goalie and a Finn, so it's split, right? So he's got, or unless it's 2 of the same
I'm going to guess that's Mikko Rantanen
finish.
on the right.
I think
Yep.
it's Miro.
Is it? I don't know, man. That's tough.
I'm going to guess that's like a Miro.
Or is that
Well,
the same
it could be-
player?
It could be. No, I think it's 2 clips for one
Oh.
person, right? Or 2
Is
photos.
it 2, Ryan, or is that one person? You can tell us that.
No, he can't.
He can't tell
He
us
doesn't
that.
know. So in
All
the
right.
chat, now you guys have some guesses here. Who are Luds' 3 stars? The one in the middle,
Yeah, I got no clue.
unless he's like the clan leader, that might be Mikko.
He loves the leader.
Yeah, the
things for
general, the
Rantanen,
bus
yeah.
driver. So I'm going to go Wyatt, Mikko, and
Miro?
Miro.
Okay.
That's my guess.
Yeah.
Okay. let's go with Sean's because Sean's here today.
Can I guess real quick on that? Can I
Oh,
Yeah,
of
go
course,
ahead.
please.
Yeah. Can I go? Is the middle one? Is he like? Because I see a theme of we're pulling younger pictures of people, and so did he not find a childhood picture of Liam Bichel, and that's what he's going with? Because I could see Liam Bichel being that size as a child. So that's
That would be funny.
That's not right. That's not right. All right. Now let's go to Sean. You get to go first today because you're here. We've had to read your villains, but you actually, and by the way, I don't know if you saw this last week. You have the laser eyes and the vaudeville mustache in your caricature at the top there.
Yes.
So take us through your villains of the week.
Yes. So we the villains of the week actually harder to pick since they only lost one game as opposed to the week prior, which is nice. Obviously, and this is why it was very important for me that we brought this up to clarify that we did not include last night. But Jason Robertson's stick was by far the biggest villain of the week and led to way more. We talked as much as I said close games aren't bad. A lot more comfortable evenings if even one of those had gone in at some point. So that's number one, Jason Robertson's stick there being unlucky. Number two, Leo Carlsson, who is a tremendous player. Really looking forward to watching him again later this week. Was the shorthanded goal was a killer in that game against the Ducks.
He's a very good player.
Ducks are rolling.
So good. He's so good. And then Ozzy Weisblatt, not just the 4 penalty minutes, he had 8 hits in that game too. When I think villains, that doesn't mean they necessarily beat you, but you had to defeat them. And when it came to physical altercations, I felt Ozzy Weisblatt had the biggest, most aggressive physical altercation of any villain against the Stars this week. So
on that vein, I would like to nominate instead of Ozzy, I would like Mason Marchment, who absolutely destroyed Rope Hintz in the crease, and then he had that one on Bichel. He hit Robo. Robo got him back.
He did
on the first shift.
Yeah,
so I would have gone with Marchment, but I like where you're going with that.
My other thing is part of it is the narrative of this, right? Like Mason Marchment, it's hard for anyone on that team to wake up the next morning and say F Mason Marchment, right? They're all going to be like, well, I miss him. He's my best friend.
It's good to see him. Although Casey DeSmith did say it's nice to save his shots because he doesn't shut up out there.
Yes.
I do think there's a possibility where in the world someone on the Stars woke up the next morning and said F Jason Robertson's stick or F Leo Carlsson or F Ozzy Weisblatt. I think there's too many binds with Mason Marchment for anyone to have woken up the next morning and using words that start with that Luds would love to say right now. So
your turn, Sam.
I don't even remember mine. Oh, yes. I cheated. What else is new?
No, I like it. That's
number
creative.
1, Stars power play. We talked about it a ton last night, but it has carried this team through a lot of those bumpy things. I mentioned last night on the pregame show, the power play goals they've scored have not just been power play goals, they've been key goals in key games. Last night we said, feels like if they get one more power play, this game's going to be tied. Next thing we know, Jason Robertson's celebrating, and they're breaking the curse in Ottawa. So that's a full thing to them. I think they deserve number 1. Wyatt Johnston has been, as much as Mikko has been the man, Wyatt Johnston has been the man part 2 because it doesn't seem to matter where he's playing, what line he's playing on, who he's playing against. He finds a way to make an impact, whether it's 3 assists in a game, a couple of goals like he had in that other game, just absolutely dominant. And then Miro Heiskanen, as much as I don't believe Miro defensively has gotten to where he wants to be, his offense has been on a roll, and that's good to see because I think he has more offense than he's shown in the last couple of seasons. Well,
I'm pretty much in agreement with you, but I just shift those over because I didn't do the power play, but I like where you were thinking there. Mine are Wyatt had, listen to his week, 3 assists against the Oilers, 2 goals and an assist against the Ducks, 2 assists against Nashville, and one of the 2 Stars goals in the win, 2-1 over the Seattle Kraken. He was tied for 3rd in the league in points last week with 9, 3 goals,
most
6
power
assists.
Play goals and power play
Miro
points.
Heiskanen also tied for 3rd in the league in points with 9. And after the Ottawa game last night, as Sam brought up in the postgame, 4 consecutive multi-assist games, but that one didn't count for last week's 3 Stars. And then I was going to go with Mikko Rantanen because he had 3 goals and 4 assists, 7 points, tied for 8th in the league in points last week, except that he went from 2 goals and assists against Edmonton, a goal and 2 assists against Anaheim. 6 of his 7 points were in the first 2 games. an assist against Nashville. Not saying he didn't play well and important against Seattle, but Casey DeSmith, look at that, 930 save percentage, 2 huge wins, one against the Oilers, and then 30 of 31 against the Seattle Kraken. He continues to absolutely foil the Kraken. They can't seem to deal with him, whether he was a Penguin or a Star. And so I made Mikko my honorable mention, and I thought that Casey deserved being in there. Again, that's the second week in a row, I think, for DeSmith. All right.
Good thing.
We're running out of time.
He should start more, some people say.
Yeah, that's a whole nother conversation, Sean. Don't get into it now. Let's do the Luds once again.
I'm more confident than I was before.
Of Casey or your
No, of
answer?
this.
Okay, so your picks were what?
I think that's Casey and Mikko on the right.
Yeah, maybe.
And I think that's why. I don't know number 2, though. But I'm stronger.
I think Mikko's number 2, and I think Miro and Casey.
I really think looks like
mixed for 3.
Mikko, but
okay.
I think that looks a lot like Mikko. I agree with Sam.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's have the reveal. Oh,
hey! Oh, they were both Mikko. Oh, it was
so
Miro.
I got Miro right.
All right, so why?
Go back to the first picture.
Why is that
Ryan?
Miro?
Maybe he's the clan leader.
Is he
leader of the blue line?
Is that guy Finnish?
Like Kat just said off screen, like we're asking why is if we can figure out his.
I have 3 minutes to research.
No. You have to focus on this. No, you really do.
Okay.
I promise you. So those are your 3 stars of the week.
Crap.
Now we look at the upcoming schedule. We only have a couple minutes left. So Ryan, would you
Lud's
pop
favorite
up?
part?
This is Lud's favorite graphic of the week. And as you can see, we already had a 3-2 overtime win over the Senators last night. They play in Montreal. Back home for Hall of Fame weekend, where they will honor Ralph Strangis and Joe Nieuwendyk, who will go into the Dallas Stars Hall of Fame on Sunday, but they will honor them on Saturday night against the Flyers. John, just really quickly, we were really down on minutes of the game. That first goal from Drake Batherson last night was ugly, but the more I thought about it today, I said this last night in the postgame show, but I want to double down on it. The way that he reset himself and made game-saving saves in the first and second periods to get them to that comeback, not many goalies can give up goals, especially one that where they would feel really upset about, and then lock in and shut down the Senators like Jake Ottinger did last night.
Yeah, he was really good last night. He was very good. And it was even more remarkable that it happened in Ottawa because that is legitimately one of the most bizarre stretches any team has had in any building, right? And it goes back to the key. It all goes back to the ghost of Yuri Hudler, right? I mean, the ghost of Yuri Hudler is why the Stars haven't won there, right? Like that started
that own goal was so bad.
Yeah.
Just as a quick tease for next week, unless something else crazy happens, Yuri Hudler is still one of the 3 villains for next week, even though his crime is 9 years old or whatever it is. But he is one of the villains for next week. So
I don't know.
We need to do a quick injury update.
Oh, go, yes.
Because we almost forgot. So we have 2 minutes. So Montreal tomorrow night, Canadians are leading the Atlantic Division and tied for 5th in the league with 22 points. The Stars tied for 2nd in the league with 23 points. And then I mentioned Flyers on Sunday. They will not have the services of Adam Ernie on Saturday, for the Montreal Flyers games, and probably a week or 2 beyond that.
Yeah, Goldson said this morning, I didn't actually catch Ernie leaving the game last night, but apparently left the game. And then Goldson said out probably a few weeks. He's back. He came back today to Dallas to get some further evaluation. Lower body injury. That's tough. We'd expect Bastian would jump up. Probably Colin Blackwell moving on to his left like he was doing earlier in the year. And that.
Did you hear what Gully said, though, at the end of that, of maybe having Capobianco in? They could go 11-7. Yep. That depends on Thomas.
Yeah, then he said it depends on Thomas Harley and a few other guys that may be nicked up, which if you've watched Thomas Harley, hasn't quite looked like himself in the last few weeks here. So there's probably a lot of injuries that people are playing through that we don't know about, and they just can't really come out right now unless it's just really serious because they don't have the help that they need.
And he still said Jamie Benn's a little ways away, even though he's looking good.
Yep, Matt Duchene will continue skating. Supposed to continue skating with the team when they get back here. He wasn't on the trip, so but
they're going to be thin.
Counting down the days. They're already thin.
They have a big West Coast trip, Western Canada.
Yeah.
What is it? Calgary, Vancouver, Edmonton, Seattle. I think the 4 teams. Not necessarily in that order. And if these injuries persist and they don't get Ben or Duchene back, they're going to be playing at the minimum, or maybe have to go under. We'll see how it all goes.
Some more gymnastics. I do want to say, Barbarian, the big pokey stick guy, is a nickname. Tell me that's not why he picked Miro.
Oh man, pregame show tomorrow. We'll find that out. Sean will be here for the postgame show tomorrow, and then on our show on Friday, Sam and I, and hopefully Car Battery Luds will be here for the pregame show. For Ryan Vaughters, our producer, for Sean, for Sam, and for myself, I'm Owen.
Go get that proximity goal.
Thank you for joining us, and go
Proximity
Big O,
goal.
the Opossums.
Opossum. Whoa.
We all silly like the mayor.